a candidate with a project is more likely to get selected. They don't go through your whole resume. You cannot ignore that I won't be asked this skill in the interview. You definitely have to know everything. Some of the questions were focused on my project as well. Yes, projects are definitely a big impact when you are in an interview. I have failed in TCS, and I think I applied for Wipro as well.
Hello everyone, I'm Swati and welcome to another podcast of the iScale. And today in this podcast, we are going to share the success story of Harsha, who is currently working as a data analyst in the company Concert AI. बहुत सारे लर्नर्स के हम तक ये क्वेश्चन आते हैं कि हम तो नॉन आईटी डोमेन से बिलोंग करते हैं, ज्यादा कोडिंग नहीं आती, तो क्या हम डेटा एनालिस्ट बन सकते हैं? तो आज का ये पॉडकास्ट आपको जरूर सुनना चाहिए क्योंकि हर्षा खुद बिलोंग करते थे नॉन आईटी मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग डोमेन से। उसके बाद उन्होंने धीरे धीरे करके सारे कोडिंग रिलेटेड स्किल्स को सीखा और आज वो एज अ डेटा एनालिस्ट के तौर पर इंडस्ट्री पे वर्क कर रहे हैं। कैसे उन्होंने अपना रोड मैप बनाया, कैसे उन्होंने पूरी की पूरी तैयारी की, इंटरव्यू में उनसे क्या क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए और किस तरीके से उन्होंने अपने प्रोजेक्ट पे काम किया, ये सारी चीजें आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे हर्षा के साथ इस पॉडकास्ट में। तो इस पॉडकास्ट में शुरू से लेके लास्ट तक बने रहिएगा और जो भी मन में आपके सवाल हो आप हमें कमेंट करके बता सकते हैं ताकि और भी ऐसे सक्सेस स्टोरीज हम आपके सामने लेके आए और आपका भी कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्ट हो डेटा एनालिस्ट बनने के लिए। तो शुरू करते हैं आज का ये पॉडकास्ट हर्षा के साथ। So hello everyone, I'm Swati and welcome to another podcast of the iScale. And today we are having with us our special guest Harsha on the podcast to share his success story. So a very warm welcome to you Harsha on the platform.
Thank you, Swati.
So for all our learners, I would like to inform that Harsha is the one who belongs to the mechanical engineering domain and right now he's a pro data analyst in the company Concert AI. So Harsha, definitely all your experiences are definitely going to help our students. So I would like to request you to give you a brief introduction so that everybody would know about you.
Sure. I started as a mechanical engineer. I was under Bachelor of Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and there was a time like I am from the COVID batch, and I think in my fourth semester we were not allowed outside and we were attending online classes, and I had a lot of time on my end, and that's when I started focusing on some of the IT skills. I initially started with Python, and going forward I found that interesting. I wanted to explore other technical tools, and later I started with SQL and Excel as well, and that's how I got this interest of getting into data analytics.
That's amazing. So Harsha, my first question is that like you have told about Python you did, then SQL, then Excel. So please just inform us about the roadmap that you followed and how much time you have devoted for Python and specifically for SQL. About your preparation strategy, please share something related to that, Harsha.
When I started, I didn't have anyone specific to guide me, and I sort of didn't have an exact roadmap. But if you ask me now, I would tell like anyone who is starting, I would ask them to start with SQL. If you have no coding knowledge at all, if you're from a non-IT background, or even if you're from IT background, I would say you can start with SQL. That's easy compared to Python and other programming languages. So once you start learning SQL, and then you'll get an interest in data analytics. Then you can start with more advanced languages. You can start with Python, and you can go on. Yeah. That would do, I guess.
All right. So Harsha, how much difficulty you have faced? Because I completely understand you were from the mechanical engineering domain, non-IT. So like how you started, because there are so many learners who are not having much of the idea related to the IT domain, about the programming. So like how you started and please just guide others too who basically belong to the non-IT domain. उनको ये लगता है कि हम तो नॉन आईटी से हैं, डेटा एनालिस्ट कैसे हो पाएगा, बट आपने ये करके दिखाया है. सो प्लीज शेयर द इनसाइट्स रिलेटेड टू दैट.
So if you want to get into data analytics, then you have to make your mind that I am going into data analytics. I see people like they say I want to go into development, and then they say I will be a data analyst, and then they'll say I want to be a tester. So you can learn the basics of everything. That's good, but that won't give you a strong technical foundation. So if you have already made your mind that you have to be a data analyst, then I would say you can preferably SQL is required. So SQL and then Python, and you can start with Excel, Power BI, Tableau, all those. So if you have made up your mind that you have to be a data analyst, then you can definitely start with all these skills, and as you go you will develop confidence, and you will find your way there.
Definitely. So, Harsha, tell us one thing. There were so many learners who have asked me about what sort of questions and what kind of interview rounds that you have faced. So, probably you might have tried to various other companies, and right now you're working as a data analyst from last 1 year in Concert AI. That's absolutely a very good company. So, please just inform us about the various kind of rounds that you have faced for clearing the interview.
Yeah, so first I tried on campus. I had applied for TCS, and they had a written round, and I failed in the written round, so not much there. And then I tried applying off campus, and I got selected to Concert AI. So the process was like I had to pass a written test, which included many SQL and Excel related questions. And after that, I was in a HR round, and then I was in the technical round. So in the technical round, mainly the focus was on SQL, some of the advanced concepts in SQL, and I cleared that, and I am here in Concert AI.
That's really great. But Harsha, we just want to know one thing. Like whatever be the things that we have learned, like before getting the job, like Python, SQL, Advanced Excel, Power BI, visualization tools, or Tableau. So all those things after getting a job, are you using that on the day-to-day basis? How much they are going to help you right now in your job?
Yeah, even if you say data analyst, like based on the company, there will be you will be put into different teams. You might be in a development team, you might be in a testing team, you might be in a visualization team. So you won't be using all of your skills, but you cannot ignore that I won't be asked this skill in the interview. You definitely have to know everything, because you never know what team you might be put in. And even if you are put into one team, then after maybe 6 months you might be transferred to another team. So you definitely have to know all the skills.
Exactly. So, Harsha, please let us know, because you were also the fresher when you were trying for the job. So, the most important thing the recruiters look into the profile of any fresher is about their internships or either about their projects, and specifically the end-to-end projects. So please just let us know about that, because whenever I was also talking to so many technical recruiters, the very first thing they said to me is that, Swati, we will look into the profile of a candidate, and the very first thing and the questions that we are going to ask in the interview is related to their projects, because then only we can understand how much the knowledge the student is having. So give us information about that. Have you also worked on certain projects? If yes, then please just share what sort of projects in which you have worked.
Yes, so before I gave an interview for Concert AI, I not only me, but there were other people with me. So collectively, we tried to build a database from scratch, and then we tried to generate random data, test data, like thousands and lakhs of records, and then we had to design the database so that it's optimal, normalization and all those concepts. And then we tried to integrate it with Excel to generate some simple visualizations. And yes, for the random data generation, we had used Python. So we demonstrated that we can use Python, SQL, and Excel in this simple project that we try to develop. And we later did a PPT to walk through what all the technology we used, what were the steps we followed, and what was the end result.
That's great. So that's the thing I would like to tell all our learners. Like Harsha said, in one project he used Python, SQL, as well as the concepts of advanced Excel. So that is the thing, how you integrate various tools for solving a problem that basically creates an impact in your interview. So Harsha, please just let us know the way you have made your project. Are the questions that were directly related to the projects have asked in your actual interview?
Not all of them, but some of the questions were focused on my project as well. So they had actually looked into my project, and they were specifically asking on normalization and such. And some of the SQL questions and Excel questions as well were based on what we did in the product. So if you say that you did something, then they'll try to tweak the question a bit. What if this was the case? What if that was the case? How will you accomplish this? And such questions.
So please give your opinion regarding that, Harsha. How much role the projects are having right now in the interviews? Are they important? And if yes, then how much one should have to focus on their projects, and when they should have to start making the projects?
Yes, projects are definitely a big impact when you are in an interview. Suppose a candidate with a project is more likely to get selected than a candidate who just say I know the basics and I know Python, I know C. So I would say, like, once you're comfortable with the basics, like when to use SQL, when to use Excel, and what to do in Python. So you have a brief idea of when to use what tool, then I would say you can go ahead and start with a simple project. Or if you're uh, comfortable and if you want to pick up a challenging project, you can do that as well. And then when you do that, you get an end-to-end knowledge, like when to use what, like a whole package, when to use which tool. And if you're the only person that's developing the whole project, then you know the entire process. So even if the recruiter asks any questions around any part of the project, you know in detail how to explain to them.
Exactly. Project explanation, as Harsha mentioned, it's very, very important to, I would like to say this to all our learners, because see, you have made the project, that is fine. But until and unless if you're not able to communicate properly in the interviews, then it creates a problem. What do you think so, Harsha, on that? Explanation of the project in the interviews and how much the recruiters focused on that. Please share your experience on that.
Yes, definitely that's a crucial skill. Even if you develop an entire database, you say you use Python, Java, C, everything, but if you cannot explain their questions, like if you cannot answer their questions, if you cannot explain properly what you have done, then even if you have put all the efforts, it looks like you haven't done anything. It just looks like you're trying to sell off something. So that's a very important skill. It's not like any other technical skill, so you can just go to some YouTube video and learn or something like that. But it comes with practice, so you have to sit with a team, or sit in front of a mirror and try to explain the project to yourself.
Exactly. So, Harsha, please just let us know about how much time it was required by you to complete all the topics, and then you have started appearing for the interviews.
Initially I was like, when I started, I was like confident. I know Python and I know SQL. I had started applying, and when I failed some of the tests, I know, like, this is where I stand. And then I started focusing more. Like I thought I should do a project, see what all aspects are covered in the project, and do I know every aspect of the project. what needs to be done in every part. That's when I started with this project. Like there were a couple of friends with me, so I'd say it took at least 3 to 4 weeks. So yeah, and it took 3 to 4 weeks because all of us were already familiar with SQL, Python, and Excel. So we didn't have to spend much time in learning the tools itself. So we could focus on building the database, working on the project itself directly.
Okay. So, Harsha, as you mentioned that before making the project, you were failed in some of the companies. So,
Yeah.
how many companies before getting into the final job? I completely understand the moment you get the job, and especially for the fresher, it's a very big thing in life. But prior to that, we faced many rejections, many failures, and sometimes that demotivates us as well, right? So,
Yes.
so just because every time we just share the success story, everything in a very glowy manner कि हाँ सब कुछ अच्छे से हो गया, but that tough part ना, जब वो rejections होता है, जब वो failures होते हैं, तो वो सबके लिए कहीं ना कहीं टफ पार्ट होता है. और ऐसे बहुत सारे लर्नर्स होंगे जो ये पॉडकास्ट देख भी रहे होंगे आगे चल के कि वो भी कहीं ना कहीं फेल हुए हैं, और आप भी कहीं ना कहीं फेल हुए, तब जाके आपको आज इतना अच्छा जॉब, इतनी अच्छी कंपनी में आप वर्क कर पा रहे हैं. तो कितने रिजेक्शंस आपको झेलने पड़े और कैसे आपने इस पे खुद को ओवरकम किया और क्या कुछ कमियों पे काम किया, इसके बारे में प्लीज एक्सप्लेन हर्षा टू द लर्नर्स.
I don't have an exact number, but I have failed at multiple places. I have failed in TCS, and I think I applied for Wipro as well, but due to some reasons, I was not able to join Wipro. And then, alternatively, in parallel, I started applying for other jobs. Some places I failed in the technical test itself. So where I used to think I know Python, that got like, so if you knew Python, why didn't you pass the test? So, coming from a non-CS background, I started to doubt myself. Should I really be trying to go into a, CS field and all that? But when you know what exactly was the mistake that you made, you can try to work on that. So you might feel like disappointed at the starting, but if you try to identify your mistakes and work on that, then you can certainly develop. And going forward, I saw like I was able to clear stage after stage and then finally get an interview. So if you're able to go to the interview, it's just a matter of presentation. So you already know all the skills, you have worked on a project, you know how to work. But in the interview, it's about presentation. The interviewers and HR, they see how confidently you speak, and all other factors.
That's truly inspiring, Harsha, because there are so many people who just thought that, okay, I'm from the mechanical domain, I haven't have any background related to IT, but still you worked hard, you made your projects, and finally, like, you have taken the rejections. I don't say that was the rejection, but yes, the lessons we can say in a very positive manner, and that's why you are right now as a successful data analyst, you are working in a company. So, Harsha, resume plays a very crucial role whenever we applied. So please share some insights related to resume, especially the ATS resume right now companies are having. So give some tips related to your resume that you have applied and you realize that, okay, after implementing these things, I got a positive response, or how you have reached out to recruiters. Please share some experiences regarding that.
As when I was working on my resume, I also did some research, like what would be the ideal resume for the HR and project managers, technical managers, all those. And what I got to know was they don't go through your whole resume, so they just skim through it, and you had to catch in that, like catch their eyes with that. So you have to be brief. You don't have to put long explanations. Nobody is going to read through it. Maybe some of them might, but you have to be brief. And some people want to just see briefly. So for them, you have to mention like, this is what my skills are, this is what my projects are, this is where I studied, all those. And if you have like a whole description of your project, nobody is going to read the whole project. That will be in a later part. So just give a brief on what your project was, and I would say keep your resume from 1 to 2 pages. Some of them are like they put their whole history of the project in the resume, so that's not really helpful. It might look good and it might be more informational, but that's not going to help much.
Exactly, because nobody is having enough time कि वो बैठ के आपके बारे में each and every page 4 to 5 page का resume, nobody is going to read that much. And even 45 to 60 seconds basically the human give to the resume in understanding, okay, these are the projects you have made, and on that basis they just make a judgment, and then they decide whether you are coming for the next round or not. So that's a really helpful advice, dear learners, that Harsha has shared, ki make it in a very crisp manner, and especially the project part, because everybody write a lot about the project in their resume. Please write only the genuine things that you are right now doing in your project. So Harsha, please just let us know about, like, as you said that you have made a very good project related to database, and you definitely get the advantage because you really explained the concepts much more in a very good manner in the interview. So like, after the just give certain insights related to the HR round. You have speak a lot about the technical round. So just for the students who just like to know about the HR round, please give a brief about that.
So if you are in a HR round, they will see how confident you are in speaking, and they consider factors like if this person is given a task, will he be able to accomplish that? It's not more of a technical aspect, but they try to see what soft skills you have. Are you good at communicating? Are you good at collaborating with the team? And all those skills. So this will only come when you actually work on a project with some of the team members and you actually meet the goal. So if you're working alone, then you might have confidence in your technical skills, but you would certainly need some soft skills as well. That's very crucial.
Okay, so Harsha, like, as we read on so many articles like data analysts, data scientists, these are the growing jobs, high paying jobs, and the growth is tremendous. So for the people like you who have already spent 1 year in the company, worked on the various very good projects, what is your take on this about the growth in this job related to data analyst? Because AI is also very much like, every company right now is focused on making certain products that will have the specifications related to the AI. And this field, especially data analytics, data science, is growing. So please give us a brief information about that, because whenever any educator or any person will say na, people will be like, हाँ ठीक है, ये तो कह ही रहे हैं, सब कह रहे हैं. But when they will listen from the person who is from the non-technical background, जिसकी एक सक्सेस स्टोरी है कि जिसने जॉब क्रैक किया है, जब वो बोलते हैं तो लोगों को एक अलग सा इम्पैक्ट पता चलता है इसके बारे में. So please share your views on that.
So the general idea is AI will come and take over all our jobs. That is not entirely true. So AI, you can think of as a smart friend you can go to when you have some questions. Of course, you can automate entire thing, but you definitely need human intervention. So you cannot completely automate something. So there has to be someone who is has a in-depth knowledge of the business requirements and all those, so that if there is any scenario where there is an issue, or there is a scenario where you have to make necessary changes to the database, or the client request some changes, there has to be a person who is more knowledgeable on the whole end-to-end process. So AI is useful if you want to find a solution, better elegant solution quickly, others. But yeah, you definitely need to have the skills. You can use AI, but it's not like the ultimate that AI will take away your job. Those.
Thank you for clarifying that, because there are so many learners and every day I'll get certain questions like this. Will AI going to replace the job of a data analyst? See, AI is not going to replace you. A person who are having the skill set related to the AI will replace the person who is not having the skill set related to AI. So that is the thing that plays a very crucial role right now in getting the job market, because job market is also very competitive right now. So Harsha, please explain what are the challenges you faced in your day-to-day life as a data analyst, and how much time, because many people has the question in your mind, once we'll get a job of a data analyst, how much time a data analyst devotes in the data cleaning thing, because every time you'll get some messed up data. So share your experience on that, Harsha.
Currently, I'm not working in the data cleaning part of the team, but yes, I would say that you know in when you're working in production, there is a time constraint. You have to meet SLAs. There are daily goals based on the work frequency and all those. So you cannot say, okay, I'll have lunch, I'll do that, I'll walk around, I'll have coffee, and then I'll come and do this. So there were times at the start of my career when I joined this company, I used to skip lunch and all those just to get the work done. Being a fresher, I was like, if I delay this, then it will be on me and all those. But yeah, so if you're familiar with the business concept and all those, you can develop a solution quickly. At the start of my career, I know SQL, but what's the use if you don't know the business concept? You have to understand the business. Only then these tools will be useful. The client doesn't care if you use SQL or Python, but if you have to use SQL and Python, then you have to know the business concept, the entire business requirements clearly. Only then you can be an effective data analyst. Yeah.
Exactly, and I completely agreed with that, because tools are okay. Nobody is going to, whenever we use WhatsApp, we are not worrying about what sort of programming language is used in making the WhatsApp. We just would like to know that whether my messages are going to that XYZ person or not. So in the same manner, in the business also, you just need to have a good idea related to business related skills along with the technical skill sets you are having. So that's a very good point you said, Harsha. So Harsha, at last, please give 2 or 3 suggestions to the students that you realize that if they implement these things, then definitely it will going to help them.
Consistency is the key. So you definitely have to be consistent. Even in now, right? Like if I take a leave and then come back, I see like, what's this? I forgot all of them already. So you definitely have to be in touch with your technical skills as well, and you definitely have to do at least if you are starting as a student, as a fresher now, then you have more time. So I would say at least dedicate 3 or 4 hours, or if you can dedicate more hours, that's also fine. So dedicate some hours every day so that you are consistent with the learning, and then you have to uh, you know try to implement whatever you have learned in a project. So doesn't matter if you know some skills but you don't know how to implement those. So first is you have to be consistent in learning, and then whatever you have learned, you have to implement that in a project. Once you've done those, you also need to explain the project in a better way, in a layman's language, so that a person who doesn't even know what is SQL, he has to understand that this is what was being done and this is the end result that was achieved. So
Exactly.
those are the 3 key things I think is necessary.
So thank you so much, Harsha, for informing us about all these things, from interview to project to resume. And I'm hoping that all these things are definitely going to help our learners. And thank you once again, Harsha, for giving your precious time to all our learners community. It really means a lot, and we congratulate you for your success, and our best wishes are there with you for your future endeavors.
Thank you. I'm happy to help.